Yes, you can have your Canada visitor visa processed by yourself without the use of an agent at all, in whatever capacity. And this video is going to tell you just how and what you require to process your Canada visit visa, either as, a permanent resident or an international student, already in Canada, or even from outside of Canada, from whatever country you are coming from. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Moments with D, and on this channel, we discuss everything that makes life of an immigrant easy, from getting your visa to immigration tips to, pathways to coming into Canada and every other fun stuff. I'm sure you're going to love this channel, so you should subscribe already by clicking that black subscribe button. You should turn on the post notification bell as well so that you get notified whenever I post another video. You can also help my channel by liking this video, watch my other video as well. It helps the algorithm and it helps me grow. One thing I also want to say is stop coming to Canada on a visitor visa expecting to switch to a work visa. Is it possible? Yes, but it is very difficult. If nobody has told you, now you're hearing it from me. Canada is not bed of roses. Canada is not heaven. If they ask you to come here, with your proof of fund, it is very important because the cost of living, like the world is going through a recession. Cost of living is high everywhere. Inflation is in every country, right? So Canada is not exempted. You should not think that you come into Canada, without having like a definite plan for yourself and expecting things to move very fast. There are people that are in very high demand jobs and they've been able to move, come in as a visitor, and one thing or the other, they've been able to get work permits in Canada. But if this is like the sole aim of your applying for a visitor visa, I will tell you to abort mission. In my opinion, this is my advice to you: abort mission. Stay back, watch my other videos about other pathways to coming into Canada. Look at how you can actually maximize those options. I still have other pathways coming up as well that I'm going to be discussing on this channel. You can send me a DM even on IG or on TikTok as well. I'm going to be putting my handles on the screen. You can send a DM. We can look at your pathway together, and you can even get licensed immigration consultants that can help you, looking at your story and everything about you. They can help, tailor applications to suit your need in a way that you'll be able to come to Canada and you won't have to struggle at all. But don't just come into Canada with the hope that you come with a visitor visa and then you're going to, switch. And some people that are using visitor visa to get Aduro, you people, I don't even have any say. I don't even have I don't know what to say to you. You already know my stand on this. But anyway, I wish you all the best. To be giving like a general overview of what a visitor visa is about. Visitor visa is basically you as the applicant trying to provide convincing evidence. You're trying to convince the immigration officer that is going to be looking through your application beyond reasonable doubt as to why they need to give you or approve of your visit to the country. Every country, you have to actually prove or convince them as to why you are coming into their country, and Canada is not an exemption. Your document is dependent on that genuineness of your application. So there is really no, like, some documents are optional, some are more like they are just very few that are actually like specifically required documents. Most documents are actually, discretionary, they are optional. But because you are trying to convince someone, in primary school when we're doing debates and you say, okay, lawyers are better than doctor, or teachers are better than accountants, or a farmer, money is better than this one, and all those kind of stuff. When we're doing those things, your points basically are things that, you are trying to let the other person buy into what you're saying. Consequently, once you're able to convince the officer in charge, they give you your visa. Then you have to now deal with the port of entry issue. I have the video up, is in the description. Go and watch. I'm always taken aback when I now hear people that are talking down on, no, don't provide plenty documents when you're applying. No, just is what they ask you that you should do. This is like, I kind of like get where they're coming from, in the sense of, okay, it's what they ask you that you should do. But because this is like a way of convincing someone, you should take the extra pain to like Prove beyond reasonable doubt. Let them see exactly what you're saying. Don't let them have to be the one to come back to you to ask for additional documents, because really in visitor visa application, they necessarily might not ask you. Can they? Yes, but they necessarily might not ask you, because if you feel it was important, you would have dropped. When you're now coming with the, don't they know who I am? But can't they see from my statement that they actually don't know who you are? Sorry, but they don't actually know who you are. So you are the one that have to provide what is required. Number one, let's talk about those that require a visitor visa. Now, not everybody requires a visitor visa into coming into Canada. Particularly, you have other passports that are eligible or that have this, eligibility coming into Canada. If you are unsure whether you require one or not, you can go on IRCC site. I will put the link on the screen and I'll put it in the description. You can click on that link to check your eligibility if you are part of those that require a visitor visa coming into Canada. Literally, this is the first step. You check if you are required to get a visitor visa, and that is when you now begin the process. Requiring a visitor visa depends on a couple of things: your entry passport or document that you are going to be using to come in. So if you're a dual citizen, maybe you have a passport of, maybe another country that should require a visa and one that should not require a visa, and then you decide to come into Canada with the passport that requires a visitor visa, you'll be turned back. In fact, the flight might not even pick you up, because your passport is one that requires a visitor. So you need to actually confirm the passport with which you'll be traveling, your nationality, which is what I just said. So even if you have dual citizenship, you should confirm, because even some countries that do not require a visitor visa, you might require an electronic travel authorization, which is called an ETA. So you might be required to get an ETA. That one, the process is actually not anything stressful at all. Then another thing that will determine if you also need a visit visa is how you plan on traveling into Canada, right? So are you going to be coming, by leg, crossing the border by leg, or are you going to be flying in or whatever? So you need that will also influence whether you're going to be needing a visitor visa or not. Just check the eligibility on IRCC. So long as you require a visitor visa, then the IRCC expects you to provide documents that is required for them to make a decision as to if they should give you the visa or not. One good thing about Canada visitor visa application is they will not request your passport until it's time to put the actual visa on your passport page. So you can be sure that even if they decide to take the longest processing time, right, you still have your travel document, that's your international passport with you, and you can use it to still go anywhere or do other applications. They won't hold your document down. Unlike the UK, where when you go to apply, you have to drop your travel document, your international passport. For Canada, you stay with your passport until they need to put the stamp on it. Then they request for your passport, which is called the PPR, passport request. Now, before we move to the documents that you need to provide, I also want you to know that aside you requiring to get a VC visa, given all what I have listed, there are also some basic requirements that you need to be able to come into Canada. One of them is you must be in good health. Of course, you must be okay. You must not be sick, be in sound health. You must not be a criminal, a wanted criminal, or a criminal. So there are some people that are not admissible into Canada. If you are not in good health, you will not be admissible into Canada. Criminal activity or criminals that whether gang criminals or terrorists and all that bit, you're not going to be admissible into Canada. For humanitarian reasons as well, you might not be admissible into Canada. You need to actually also check all this to be sure that you are actually admissible. Aside the fact that you need it, you are also one that is admissible into Canada. After this, then you want to know your reason for traveling. Now, this is a very important point in your Canada processing, because it is this reason that will influence the documents you are going to be providing. So whether you are coming as a tourist, you're coming for a business trip, you're coming for a conference, you're coming to visit your spouse, your partner, your family, your long cousin, your sibling, or whatever reason for which you are coming into Canada is what will determine the documents that you or maybe the person that you're even coming to visit might need to provide for you. So this is the basis for which you're coming is what will influence your document. So don't just watch this video and say, oh, because I was talking about documents to provide for someone that's coming for tourism, then you that you're now going for family visit, you just carry document for tourism and you went to provide that same one. So your reason for visit, which is the first thing you're going to see, like on your visitor application page, they will ask you the reason, and that is what will influence the forms you will even your application form going forward. I'm also going to drop a link in my description that has how to check this eligibility on IRCC website itself. You notice like emphasizing on this so you can see exactly what you need or what IRCC has been listed on that website that you need, right? And note the fact that you provided all the documents, like you can do everything right and still not get the visa approved. Yes, you can do everything right, provide everything, and they still feel that they don't want to give you. This is the reason why I'm saying, like, I'm always skeptical. Like, it sounds very funny to me when I see people that feel like, oh, don't let me hold back this document. They think they did not accept, they don't need it, because you are convincing somebody, and once they just look at it and they feel, the person that is approving it feels like two people can do the same application, the same document, and the one person that review one person's document will approve it, and another person will say, no, this is not sufficient for me. So know this and know that you have to like put your best foot forward. By the time you're now doing reapplication, you already have like a bad record that you will need to keep stating in every other country application that you do. Have they ever rejected your visa? They will ask. So you don't want to have that hanging over your head, right? So just put your best foot forward. It's better you provide everything, too much information self, and they say, this was self, oh yeah, approved. Then so now say, assuming I now know, maybe I would have put this one. The very first document that you're going to be needing for your visitor visa application, regardless of whatever the status or the reason for your visit, is your passport, your international passport. You are going to need it. That's your international ID. They want to see it, so you are going to need that. So if you are watching this video, you want to apply for visitor visa, you're already on helter-skelter, but you have not done your international passport, particularly, if you are from where I'm from, you better quickly first go and do that one first before you are running kitty kata. Now, there are also a couple of passports that are not acceptable. If you have a temporary passport from like South Africa, or passport issued by Somalia, provisional passport from Venezuela, and the like. So there are just a couple of ones that are not acceptable, but I'll put the link, like I said, go and check that out. You need to be above 18, and if you're not above 18, of course, your guardian would fill the application for you. You also need to complete your application form, your Canada application form. If you need a video of the step-by-step process of completing the application form, you can just drop a comment. I don't mind doing the video to just show you like the step-by-step process of filling out the application form, but you need a completed application form as well in as part of the documents that you're going to be submitting, and it's online. You do it online, so you just upload those documents and then you go ahead. Another document you need is your proof of funds. Because so now when you're coming on a visit visa, you have no recourse to public funds. You are not required to access public funds, public benefits, and all that bits. Visitors that are going here and there, looking for shelter, looking for food banks and all that bits. You're not supposed to have access to anything public funds, right? So you need your proof of fund, which is is listed as one of the reasons you can be denied your visitor visa. So proof of fund is very important. Then you also need proof of home ties. Now, this proof of home ties, you cannot say you're coming to visit a place, right? And then, okay, maybe you're even coming with your family, and now you don't have anything like this. You don't have a job back home. Your wife doesn't have a job. Your children are not attending school. They don't have anything. If you were them and you were the one approving this visa, would you give someone like that a visitor visa? So this is exactly what they are looking out for as well. They want to see that, okay, although you're coming, with your family, you're coming to Canada Wonderland, you want to see what it looks like, but something is calling you back home. So that proof of ties back home is also very important, and is a very key reason as to why they often deny people for their visit visas. If you're coming for like maybe a business trip or a conference and all that, you need that conference letter, that invite as a part of your document to say, I was invited for this conference and this is what I'm coming to do. So you need that conference invite that will show that thing. And also for whatever category, there's a need for letter of explanation. Now, I'm talking about letter of explanation here for whatever category because it is a very key document in whatever it is you're doing. Now, you might have stated things on your application or submitted document, but there's a need to like kind of explain that document to the immigration officer. Because I said that this is a way of convincing the officer, you will not be there to answer the question or when the officer is reviewing it. Now, the vex officer from home, the wife or the children or the husband, something has happened or whatever, and now they are coming to review your documents, regardless of, you know, what their code of conduct says. They can't be biased and all that. Once something is not clear to them, they will just leave your document and go and say this person is not ready. So that letter of explanation kind of like acts as guidance, right? If you want a video on detailed letter of explanation, I don't mind doing that as well. Just drop in the comments where you want that video and I'm going to put it out. But your letter of explanation just helps you. It provides it ties up all the loose ends, literally. So it states your purpose again, then say, okay, I've put this document, or I put first bank statement is showing my DOM account. I've opened it from this and attach is letter from the bank that shows that I have opened that account since 2001. Is there. Also attach is my Naira or my UK Lloyd's bank account statement. This is just to show that kiniko, you put that. Attached are stamps from my travel to Germany, to Italy, to Spain, kiniko, to show that, you know, I'm well traveled and I've come back home. Attached is also, you attach your business document is to show that I'm a sole proprietor in my country. This is tax. This is your letter of explanation. I'm sure you're already picking out some documents that I mentioned in those letters of explanation. Literally, it's just to tie up the loose ends. List the document you have put it in their own placeholders, right? But list it there. Let them know that, yes, so I've had this document and this is the reason why I put it. This is what this document is about. In fact, for one of my friends that we did visitor visa for, in fact, we added their a copy pictures of our children's US passports because they are US citizen, but she is not a US citizen. We added it to say, see, this is my children, like as part of the reasons to go back. That's why we put that section. This is why I will return to my home country, and that's what we'll put. I'll put it. She has children that are US citizen. If she run away now, it's going to impact on her children. We'll put it there. Or she has husband, or she has job. This your letter of explanation is like with this viewpoint of mine. You know when they call the lead speaker to come back and give like final statements in debates, and you come back, if you're in literary and debating, or you were in literary and debating club, drop a comment because you will understand what I'm saying. When they call the lead speaker to come and like give that 1 minute closing statement, and you now give that with this viewpoint of mine, I think I'll be able to convince you and not to confuse you that is exactly what your letter of explanation is about. Depending if you're coming for a business or a conference and it's whether the body that is sponsoring you, let's say, for instance, you're coming for an ACCA conference, and ACCA is the one sponsoring your coming, right? Most likely, ACCA most bodies will have a way of like, you know, whether they have like an agent that will do it or whatever. But even if that is not the case for the agency that is asking you to come or the body that is sponsoring you, regardless, you know, you are going to be able to state it that is this body that is going to be providing, you know, or covering for my cost of stay. The company, the body should be able to provide you with a letter with evidences, not just a letter, not letter that the one company just draft, not just letter paper. Like they literally be able to like put their seal, their style, their blood on it to say, yes, so you are coming and we are the one that is sponsoring it. Now, if that is not the case, you are just coming for that conference because it's going to, you know, help in your career, in your whatever and whatever. Now, there are things you can do. You can talk to your organization where you're working in your home country, where you're applying from. They can give you a letter as well to just back up to say, especially if they are the ones sponsoring you to come for this conference, your company is coming down to say, yes, so we are the one that is sponsoring, being paid to go for this finance conference in Canada. A backing, that kind of a letter from your signed by your MD, your HR, with your slip, with your everything, you know, showing maybe your per diem payment or, you know, out of office payment, whatever, it's going to hold water. So if it's your company that is sponsoring you back in your own country, let them provide you with, you know, sufficient document to say we are the ones sponsoring you for that conference. Now, if it's not your company, but you're also going because it's going to help, with your career as well. You can still go to your boss, your line manager, your HR as well to say, okay, the company is not the one sponsoring, but I need a letter to say, okay, this is, I work in finance. I am the CFO. I'm just a finance, I'm a graduate trainee in finance, right? And I saw this conference is going to help in my career. This and this are what I'm going to be doing. They should sign it for you. Your letter of leave from the office as well, shows that, okay, my leave period is in these days and I'm going for this conference. You add all those things together. Your hotel booking, your accommodation booking is very important as well. So you need to show this. Now, if you see everything I've been saying, right, about evidences that you need to show, those are the things that will influence your proof of fund. Now, what do I mean? Let's assume that you're coming for this conference. It's not your company that is sponsoring. You need to show money that you will move around, right? When you shall come, you shall stay in one place. You need to show evidences that, one, you have accommodation sorted. So if it's like your hotel booked already, your receipt should be there. There is not going to be slot to say, okay, accommodation evidence, but you should be able to. So if you already know that, this place I'm coming, I'm going to be staying in a hotel, your hotel receipt evidence, and state it in your letter. I'm going to be staying at Sheraton Hotel, so and so Mississauga, you put it there. Evidence, receipt of that, you add it. You put it in document, put PDF it together and upload it as other documents, right? So it's there. Now, if you already paid for the hotel, you're not going to be showing that as your proof of fund because you have paid, right? But if you have not paid for that hotel, maybe you only reserved it, they've not taken payment, that amount must be shown as part of your proof of fund. You are going to be eating. Your feeding money should show. And should be realistic. It should be a realistic amount. Don't say, I will spend $10 per day that you calculated. No. So it should also be reasonable amount to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to be feeding. This is what I'm going to be feeding on. The money is there. You're going to be transporting yourself. Now, your event is at Niagara. You are at Mississauga, right? You're going to be transporting yourself. Are you renting a car? Have you paid for the rental? Everything. These are part of what you're going to be showing as your proof of fund. So if your total expense is estimated at, let's say you need to show like 5,000 Canadian dollars is what your total is, just an estimate, please. And then your proof of fund is now showing 1,000 Canadian dollars. You just show 1 million in your account as proof of fund and you're doing yes. They are not going to approve it. But if your organization, they are sorting your accommodation, they're sorting your transportation, or maybe you're even lodged in the company or in the hotel that the conference is going to be holding, and you're not going to be transporting yourself, you don't look to exceed the day. In fact, the day the conference finished, the next day is when you're coming back, so you're not doing any sightseeing or whatever, then you're good. So that is what will influence the document you're going to provide. And another one, if you're coming for tourism, right, you don't know anybody in Canada, you also have to prove your accommodation, your proof of fund has to show all these, your transportation. If you say that you want to visit 4 provinces in Canada, then you're not showing that you only have 7,000 Canadian dollars here, you're a family of 4 that you're coming. Flights from Toronto to Calgary, safe, alone. But even if you want to show that you can, if you do your research or you prove to the person that you can be able to survive on this, I'm going to be taking a train trip. And okay, let's say maybe train from Toronto to Calgary, then from Calgary to Vancouver is what you plan on. State it. You can have an itinerary section in your letter of explanation. So your hotel booking should show this. But even if you don't have all the hotel booked, it should be explained there. Okay, so you are doing all this thing, but maybe you have friends that you're going to stay with or whatever. Put all these things. Let them see that you have thought this thing through. You are not just coming shabbily. From your application, we can tell if you actually know what you are saying or not. For me, I brought my mom in. Immediately I came into Canada in October, I put in an application for my mom to come and it was approved. A visitor visa was approved, right? And even in that space, I've had my sister's processing done. So my point is, it's not really like your length of stay or, okay, I can't bring family because I just came, or this. It's just about the document that you need to provide. Now, in the case whereby you are the one inviting a family over, you need to provide your stay document, right, for the family to come over. So your permanent residency document, your permanent residency card, your citizenship certificate, or your passport or something, you need to provide. Even your international students, your work permit, anything you need to actually provide to show that you're even inviting somebody, you have a legal stay, right? Now that's one. Now, if you decide you are the one that want to sponsor the person coming as well, you need to show your bank statement to show that yes, I have the capacity to sponsor the person that is coming into this country. So I'm not just saying, oh, I want to bring my money, and you yourself, your statement to show that you barely have $2 at the end of the day. You have to state it as well in your own invitation letter to say this person is not, they are not going to have any recourse to public fund, and they are solely dependent on me. You have to show your bill, so that shows your address, has to be part of it. If you have an employment, so okay, this is where I work, this is what I do, so I am capable of taking care of this person. Now, can you see the progression? Those are the things that we inform what you also need to provide as the person that is inviting somebody. You don't just say, oh yeah, I'm inviting you, come to Canada. You just provide invitation letter and that's it. You need to actually put these documents in place as what will hold water to show that that person that is coming. Now, regardless of whoever you are inviting, their ties back home is very important. Your parents are already retired, but they have housing documents. They belong to CDA in church, or CDA in their street, or church group, or whatever. Those things need to be mentioned. Evidences need to be provided. The church can write letter, oh, it's our decade. You have a group that you are in, you have a land, you have a house, you have a job, as many things. Your family is there. It's only you that are coming. You still have husband. You still have sister. You still have sibling. All these things are the things that will hold water as, okay, this person has a reason to go back home. The moment is already looking like you don't have a reason to go back home, you want to come and jackpot, they will not approve your application. So depends on the reason you're coming down is what is going to literally influence whatever documents you need to provide. So in your application, once after you filled your application form, there will definitely be those placeholders that will say, okay, this document, put it here, this document, put it here. This is where you will upload it, you upload it. Now, there are some of these documents I've mentioned, there are no placeholders for it. Aside maybe your proof of your proof of fund, your international passport, maybe document of the family, or maybe invitation letter or something, depending on your purpose. I think very few documents are the ones that have placeholders. The ones that do not have placeholder, don't just think because they did not put a place for you to put your itinerary, or there's no place where they ask you for hotel receipts, or there's no place where they ask you for ties back home. Because of that, you will not put it. My dear, no. You see that evidence, the letter of explanation, everything, merge it together. There's PDF merger. Just Google how to merge PDF document. Google it. Once you Google it, how to merge PDF document, you will see it. Put it together. There's definitely a placeholder for other documents. Put it there. Put it there. Because that other document placeholder is very important in your application. Don't say this did not tell you. This is what I have on visitor visa application, and how to get your visitor visa approved. I did it for my mom, I did it for my sister, and it was approved. She and her family safe, and it was approved. So I know what I'm talking about. If you have done your visitor visa application before and it wasn't approved, you can get I'm sure there is a GCMS note. They will even give you a reason. You can get feedback as to the reason why your visa was not approved, and work on it to get your application done again. You can redo it. Don't let anybody else put fear in your mind to say, oh, you can actually redo it and get your your application approved. It is something you can definitely do without any agents. I hope you found this video very helpful. If you sure got value from it, please like this video, share it with people that of course would need this, whether they're even in Canada or not, that would need this to go about their processing. And if you want me to put a detailed letter of explanation out, just drop it in the comments. I'm going to do that. If you want to see step-by-step process as well of applying for your visitor visa, I'm going to do a video on that as well. Just comment and drop a comment to say you want that video, and I'm definitely going to drop that video until I come your way next time. Thank you so much for watching this video to this point. Thank you very much for following, for liking, for sharing. Till I see you in my next video. Stay blessed. Bye.